The following program was produced by CTV Community Television.
We have some additions. We have an unfinished business edition of water bill payment plan agreement regarding the 7785 South River Road. That'll be item G2. We have some new business items. H19, request to create a part-time parks maintenance position and post a job to hire ASAP. H20, review and discuss the potential property acquisition for Shoreline Park expansion. Item 21, review and approve purchase of groundskeeping and compliance items. And item 22, review of overall township improvement project goals, immediate and future. I would like to make one adjustment to an actual item, and that is going to be item, I guess I should have looked at this first. Put this on my thing. It has to do with the asphalt. What item is that? 7. What is it? 7. Item 7. I want to change that from review the proposals to approving an RFB, which I supplied you guys with the RFB. I'll explain why we do that when we get there, but that'll be my only change. We're not going to look at the proposals that are in there due to the policy guidelines. If there's no other changes or additions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the additions, deletions, and changes.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Moving on to item C, guest speaker. We have no guest speakers tonight, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Item number 1, approval of Township Board minutes of the regular meeting of Wednesday, April 8th, 2026 at 6:30. Approval of the treasurer's reports for January 2026, including correspondence from the treasurer at the BSNA. Item number 3, approval of clerk's reports, the revenue and expenditure report for April 2026, approval of paychecks payroll for April 2026 for the net total amount of $23,575.78. Paychecks direct deposit number 774 through 802 and check number 3848. Approval of accounts payables, $58,057.43 paid already, 30 checks, 23,005 through 23,026, and an EFT 452 through 459. Item number 2 is $50,636.40 in tax disbursements for a grand total of 32 payables for $108,726.88. We have correspondence from the Marine City Fire Authority runs for April 26th. There was 43 total runs from the Marine City Fire Authority, 12 runs in Cottrellville, 11 being medical emergencies, and 1 illegal burn. If there's no questions on the consent agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg?
Yes.
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to item E, public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board regarding agenda items may do so at this time. If there's anybody that'd like to address the board on any of the agenda items, I open that up at 6:34. I guess we'll close public comment on agenda items at 6:34. Moving on to the board committee and department reports. Oh, hang on. I had marked out everything, but I forgot to find the building report. It's going to be right here. This month, that's the planning report, fire authority. We had 13 total permits for a total of $3,478.90 on the building permits. The planning commission turned in their 2025 annual planning report of what they accomplished last year. Everybody should have had a chance to read through that. They did a lot of stuff. They passed some ordinances. They had some site plan applications, some special land use applications, some rezonings. Let's see. They supported efforts to update the township 5-year Parks and Rec plan. They have their goals for this year, for the 2026, and looking forward to some planning, training opportunities. Did anybody have any questions on the Planning Commission's annual planning report? If not, I'll move on to the Assessors Department 2026 estimated tax dollar amount report. So the roads, for the half a mil assessment, we'll get $94,741. The police and fire will each get $189,483.61. Our operating millage this year is estimated to come in at $133,483. So our total in property tax millage and assessments is $607,192.66. Yeah, pretty much covers all of that. I will say that next year will be the last year for the roads assessment as it stands. It is going to be on the ballot, on the August ballot as a millage. And, let the people decide if they want to continue to fund fixing the roads at the current levels. If there's no questions or comments on the reports, I'll move on to unfinished business. Moving on to unfinished business, item number 1, item tabled until May 13th, which is today, the follow-up discussion on the board directed requirements with Mr. Treadway regarding Joe's Garage. We spoke with Joe, we went out to Joe's Garage a couple different times. He has met with Nationwide Construction Group, and they have furnished him with the contract to put in the gate. And they will be adding the dumpster enclosure, which would fulfill the requirements that we placed on Joe to send this back to the Planning Commission for site plan review.
Now, is this a signed contract, or was this like?
It was my understanding that the gentleman, I got this 2 weeks ago, and it's my understanding that since I received this from Nationwide, that they have signed a contract and Joe's given a deposit.
Okay.
So, it's hard to tell in this picture, but if you look at the 37-foot double swing gate is where we said he needed to put a gate. They'd found a way to put a gate there. That satisfied myself and satisfied Nick. So, yeah, and then the dumpster enclosure he was gonna put a dumpster enclosure there by the driveway where the dumpster currently sits. I will say that there's days when his parking lot is respectable or parked well, and then there's a day here and there where it's full, and that can be understandable. I see what's going on, and I see what he's trying to do, and he is making a valid effort. So at this time, what I'll ask, is there any questions on what he's presented?
Yeah, it's good to see him getting things done.
Well, I had to drag them into the courtroom by ear for the house.
Right.
But because somebody is squatting in his house. So he just didn't know how to do the paperwork apparently, and there was a mess after we cleaned it out. And we still have the judgment on the house that we could get dumpsters there and clean it up, but I gave him the opportunity over the last week and I see him making progress on it. While that gentleman who was squatting it's a whole story, but the gentleman is getting out of the house and they're getting the garbage up. So he's making an effort to comply. I'd like to send this back to the Planning Commission for site plan review and approval now that he's met the thing, so.
There's no deadline and no work been done yet. Shouldn't we wait until it's been done?
Yeah, we can wait and give them this month to get the gate in and confirm that the gate is in and send them back for the site plan approval next month. I have no problem with that. He did, like I said, he did do what we've asked him to do. I have no problems giving him, a month to get the gate in. So do we want to table this again until next month, until the gate is in, and make sure that the progress is completed before we send it to the Planning Commission?
Yes.
That'll work.
I'll entertain a motion to table till next month.
I'll make the motion to table this till next month.
Do I? Give me a second, okay. All in favor by saying aye? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And then we had a number 2. Last month, item number 2 is the water bill payment plan agreement for the 7785 South River Road. I spoke with the homeowner whose father was in the home. We put together the water bill payment plan agreement based on the 2-year plan that was discussed before the last meeting.
So you did talk to her and she is still?
I did speak to her. She will make the first payment June 1st.
Okay.
Or I told her the first payment will be due starting June 1st. So, and I explained to her that in this agreement, if she falls 90 days past due, it automatically, the agreement is null and void and it goes on to the taxes. I had talked with her and I had sent Nick to the house on Tuesday, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, to read the meter, and the new meter that was installed into the pit that we just replaced is dead. So since this bill came out, the meter is dead. So we have to go, when Nick gets back from out of town, he's gonna go put another new meter onto this property. So we don't know how much water was used or lost. And it's just the way it is between the reading for this bill and today. They did fix the repair the leak, so the leak has stopped. We'll see if that changes any of our unmetered water usage. But she agreed to the plan, she agreed to the terms. She is financially unable to take a loan. I did ask her that was one thing that was discussed. It didn't sound like she was even interested. And like I said, we'll see if she makes the payments. I mean, there's no guarantee she's gonna make the payments, but I mean, if we turn this over on the taxes, the county isn't gonna reimburse us that amount. So, I mean, this is a first attempt. We'll see what happens. Was there any other comments on that? If everybody looked through, or I don't know, you guys just got this tonight, so if there's any questions on it. Basically, the remaining balance is $11,692.10. Payment shall begin on June 1st, 2026. The balance will be paid in 24 equal monthly installments of $487.17. And actually, the last payment is $487.19. So just got to come up with an extra 2 cents on the 24th payment. But we're not going to assess any late fees as long as it stays up to date, and the balance will not be transferred to the property tax roll provided all payments are made on time and in full. As I said, if 3 payments are missed, the payment plan shall be considered in default. Upon default, the remaining balance shall revert to a regular utility balance and shall be subject to late fees and transferred to the tax roll in accordance with the township policy. So, I'll recommend the motion to affirm the sewer credit of the 656082, which we did last month, and approve a payment agreement for the remaining balance of $11,692.10, payable in 24 monthly installments of $487.17 beginning June 1st, 2026 for Tammy and Scott Hoolin, 7785 River Road, subject to default provisions as outlined above. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg?
Yes.
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Okay, and that's it for the new business items, or unfinished business items. Moving on to new business. Back to the right agenda. First item of new business is review and acceptance of the resignation of trustee Lisa McKenzie. Lisa turned in her resignation, let's see, where's the date?
It's April 25th.
April 25th. And it says, please accept this email as my formal resignation as trustee, Lisa McKenzie. Is there any discussion, questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept Mrs. McKenzie's resignation.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg?
Yes.
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
And Chris?
Yes.
Motion carries. Now, I don't know if we have a separate, I don't think we have a separate item for that. So,
Well, it would
Or is
just,
it-
it would just be an announcement at that point that we'll be accepting.
okay, all right, then that's what we'll do this as an announcement. Item number 2, request to approve payments of the following invoices, 121,380 and 121,747 payable to Kirk Huth Lang and Battle Amenti PLC for legal services rendered March 2026 and April 2026 for the total amount of $2,007.50. And item B, invoice 25-040-12 and 25-057-9 payable to McKenna for professional services related to the master plan and planning commission advising for a total amount of $29,3250. Is there any discussion on those? I would like to ask, are these type of items something we can add to the consent agenda or no?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really know.
I mean, they're pretty contracted services, that's what I'm asking, I don't know. Hey, it's just, it may be a moot point depending on what
It's
we
just
talk about.
always done that way before, and so that's the way it's been done now.
I get it.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, it's not, according, because we did look at this earlier, according to our payment, what was the policy name? Something, payment policy and prepayment audit policy. I don't know, it says that it lists our invoices that can be paid without coming before the board are things like utilities and contracts and so standard amounts where
okay.
like
Well,
the bill for the copier is the same amount every month. The electricity.
Something that's
has to be-
standard.
It has to be paid.
Gotcha.
Where
Okay.
these are not necessarily, and we should be reviewing them to make sure that everything we're paying day to day on there is
Well,
actual stuff
that-
that we've done.
that's one
So-
thing, yeah, okay. It'd kind of be a moot point because we have 23 items on the agenda tonight. And we've talked about it in the past, and it's not an agenda item, and so the reason I bring this up while we're paying these bills.
So I do know that a lot of municipal governments do it like this, where they just list out all of the invoices as one item. So that's kind of why I've switched to that, as number 2 being one item for all the invoices for professional services.
I'm not opposed to that, to keeping it the way that is, because it's gonna bring up, I mean, it's not, like I said, this isn't an agenda item, but I think it's time we discuss having 2 meetings a month. Our agendas are
Agreed.
always full, and we're gonna have a couple things that probably, this is gonna be a longer meeting tonight, but in the future, if we have two meetings, we can divide those up, divide and conquer.
And 2 scheduled meetings would help with some of these that we're having to have that were considered special meetings.
We're having a lot of special meetings, so yeah, exactly. So, again, I mean, we could talk about that maybe at the end of the agenda. So I'm gonna keep going, but, I mean, it's something we need to talk about. So, do I have a motion to approve those payments on those invoices?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg?
Yes,
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
motion carries. Item number 3, request to approve resolution R 2026-11, a resolution adopting the general fund bond balance policy. We've talked about, you know, the township after many years is in a solid financial state. We're actually gaining revenue. So it's time we created a policy to determine what our general fund balance should be and how our general fund should benefit the community, and their tax money should be used to support the needs of the community. Sarah, do you want to give us a rundown of the policy? I mean,
Yeah, so we're gonna keep in our general fund, 100% of a full year in there in case of emergencies. And then everything else after that, we can spend on things that
That
need to get done in the township, yeah.
And then if we fall below that 1 year threshold, then we have 3 years to bring it back to that threshold. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, yeah, there'll be 3 years after that.
Because that's the goal, is to always keep 1 year's budget in an emergency fund. And that's what the general fund is. It's really a portion of that. Because here's what's happening, you know, and you know, the auditors kind of mentioned it to me last year. They're like, you have a large general fund. When our general fund gets to be too large, then it's considered hoarding, and it's not benefiting the public. The tax dollars that we collect should be benefiting the public in many different ways. With upkeep of the maintenance of the buildings and cutting the grass. I mean, we managed to cut the grass and we're still gaining in the general fund. We've done a lot of things and we're still gaining in the general fund.
I'll add on to that too, us holding on to 12 months, 100% of a full year is very conservative too. There's a lot of townships, from the little bit of research I've done, they'll go anywhere from 30 to 50% and some above. So at 100%, we're keeping enough dollars to pay all of our bills for a full year, so that's a pretty conservative number.
Yeah. Did you guys have any questions on it? Anything to add? I think it's a good number. I think it gives us some flexibility to continue the improvements in the community. It's amazing the things that this board has done, that we can make all of these improvements without raising taxes. You know, we don't need to raise the operating fund. I mean, we don't get that much in it anyway, but what will be the telltale difference is next year on the state revenue sharing, and how much we lose on that to the road commission. In a way, it's kind of a wash because we spent $100,000 out of the general fund in the past on the roads. This year we're using the road fund, and then we have the $77,000 that's dedicated from the revenue sharing that went directly to them. So next year will be a telltale of how much our revenue drops, or if it pretty much stays the same. I mean, we have a good revenue sharing right now. So if there's no other questions on the revenue or on the general fund balance policy, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution R 2026-11.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg?
Yes.
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 4, request to approve resolution R 2026-12, a resolution adopting the public social media communications policy and the website and social media use policy. I'll let Angela start.
So with the changing environment of governments and the continued use of social media for information dissemination, you know, getting stuff out there to the public, there is a need, I guess, for you know, for making sure that our communication is done properly, that we're not violating any you know, laws related to like the Open Meetings Act, that we're not going above what is right in censuring the public, that we're not doing that at all because that's against the law, but that we're also not creating a space where people are uncomfortable to voice their opinion either, by allowing people to attack others on there and off-topic conversations, etc. So a policy to maintain clarity and communication, but keeping it on topic, needs to happen. This resolution includes actually 2 separate policies. There is an internal policy for office-wise, and who is posting, who is, whose information is going out there, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's a external policy as to what kind of things will be posted and how we hope and expect our residents to respond on there. There has been some, there was some contention, there was some conversation on social media in the past about, if we, not necessarily block people, but if comments are hidden or, the claims that we're, going out there and censuring people and that we're not allowing them to do things or say things or whatever, and it's their First Amendment right to do that. It for sure is to a certain extent. The First Amendment covers a lot, it does. But there are certain things, according to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court has a list of what is, actually the list for what is protected doesn't exist, but there is a list for what is not protected. And what would not be protected speech is things like defamation, fraud, threats, criminal conduct, speech integral to criminal conduct, obscenity, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there's a whole list of stuff. So, we just want to make sure that the policies are fair for everyone involved and that we are not infringing on anyone's rights. So that's where this came about. There has been contention with board members as to what is everybody's rights and responsibilities. These policies were created not by myself, but were taken from sources such as other governmental institutions' policies, the MTA, which is an organization that as a township we trust and belong to, and the thought of these policies are not, they're not to censure our board either. That, we as citizens as well as board members have rights as well. So I would like for us as a board to go through these policies and have polite discourse about them and talk about what is and what isn't right. I will say that these policies have both been reviewed by us as a board. They've been reviewed by our office managers, and they have been reviewed by the lawyer. So again, we can go through this and talk about these policies.
I'm just gonna point out some things, pretty much everybody knows. So, I mean, there's no hiding it. I do a lot of the posting on the township page. So, I'm not opposed to a policy or the policy. There's changes that we needed to make and we need to make, and some of that is so that the public knows precisely who's addressing them on that page and who's answering the questions when the questions are being asked at whatever time of the morning.
But hold on. I want to address the time of the morning. That's the whole point. At no point should any of us feel that we don't need to be responding at all hours of the morning. It is not a emergency to respond to Facebook posts at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I understand and agree. Here's my main, and I'll read that later, but like here we have the public information officer. You've got here, and this is kind of where my contention comes in. You got the treasurer's department manager and the clerk's department manager together shall be the public information officers for the township of Cottrellville. The public information officer shall be responsible for supervising the content disseminated as approved by the township board through the township website, public service announcements, and press releases on township government events, and responding to inquiries from the public via social media and referring contact to other appropriate township officials. The public information officer shall review content of these materials as directed within this document. My biggest problem with that paragraph, or those two paragraphs, well, and I guess read down to the public information officer may determine that in his or her sole discretion,
I have that highlighted on mine as well, that I don't think that that's right.
whether such content will be removed or edited, submitted to the township legal counsel for further opinion, directed to the township board for final determination, or returned to the author for revision. That paragraph where I take issue with is the deputy treasurer and the deputy clerk are not the elected officials. And that's where I take the public elected us to be their voice and for us to tell them what's going on at any given time. Social media is a tool for us to do that. Now, when I created the office page, it was with the intent to disseminate all information, complete transparency, give the public input on that information. So that's my main concern, is that takes away in our official capacity what the public elected us to do. And if I'm wording that right, I mean, because I have a statement. But then one of the other things, because everybody knows Linky versus Free and blocking.
Everybody knows?
Well, we're learning about it, but there's a toss between public and private, who you can block, what you can't block. There's things that you can block for, things you can't block for. Some of the things in this are a little vague and can be construed as vague. And that can open us up to interpretation for violation of that Supreme Court case. So I would like to dive deeper into the specifics of blocking, or not blocking, but deleting comments or hiding comments. I would rather, and my statement basically is, my concern is I'd err on the caution of allowing the public, if they can come up to this podium and swear at us. Now, I have the right as the moderator to ask them to stop, but that's their First Amendment right. We have some people in the community that like to criticize, like to say flat out lies, like to make things up. Our job is to accept that. And I accept it. I don't mind. Let those couple of people say what they want, make up the stories. I put out the truth. I put out what I've stated. There's nothing that I won't say on Facebook that I won't say at this board table. Sometimes that might get me into trouble, but not legal trouble. Maybe personal,
Legal trouble.
I don't think I've ever said anything that would get me into legal trouble.
All right, you posted a policy before it was brought to the board. That is an Open Meetings Act violation.
Well, technically, it wasn't a policy. It didn't say policy.
It was a policy.
Okay. Well,
That's part of this policy that we have to bring today.
okay.
To fix that post.
This goes way beyond what I posted, way beyond.
Absolutely.
And I think it's too restrictive on the public.
That's not, like what? What exactly
It's
here?
Okay,
When was this post made?
what's that?
When was this post made?
When was your post made about the policy?
A month ago. Let's see. Some of the stuff is okay, like but a personal attack, insult, sometimes, if it's against a public official, then it's against a public official. Racial slur, absolutely. Derogatory terms, sexually explicit, foul language, if they're gonna swear, they're gonna swear. That's a First Amendment right. I get where it is. Language promoting hate, yeah, absolutely, it should be deleted, we shouldn't allow hate. But other language considered abusive. Who determines what's considered abusive? How abusive is abusive? Your definition of abusive might not be the same definition as somebody else.
Yeah.
And if we allow a deputy to determine what's abusive,
So why is their determination different than our determination? At what point is our choice to determine more important than their choice, or more relevant, or more?
So that brings me to my next point, that I think that this is a lot of responsibility to put on our hourly employees, and then at the end of it, put in violations that if they don't follow this correctly, that they can be terminated. And to do all of that for,
Well,
just to throw on an extra responsibility for them that they, they didn't agree to, which they might agree to it, I don't know, but, do you guys wanna take on all this extra, everything that's written in it, you guys read it, and following, and checking it daily, monitoring it, checking to see who you guys, if you have to hide comments, if you can't hide comments, and then dealing with, let's say, I go to them and tell them, hey, I want you to post this, and you don't agree with it, so now that puts you in a weird situation, because now you guys are going against your bosses. Is that something that do you want this sole responsibility on you?
No, I already edited the thing to, the things that I did not agree with, and
Yeah.
gave it to Angela and you as well. Cause it was a little overboard in some spots, and some of the responsibilities, we don't have the authority to do that right now, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
do we?
Well, so if not them, who?
Well, that's my whole point, is that it shouldn't need daily monitoring. Like, the way that this was written is it's so extensive that I think it's unrealistic we should discuss whether it is realistic for our staff to even take on this responsibility. Because I know you keep saying it's gonna take them 5 seconds to do, but that's not the truth. This is, it's a, 5-page policy, essentially putting more
I spent
stuff on this.
hours monitoring the page, hours responding to comments.
And that is a choice that you make,
And your.
but is unnecessary and not what this page was about. The page was literally about putting information out there
And
that is informative. It is not about engaging with comments. It is not about back and forth discourse about disagreeing.
No, okay.
And when this policy states that it would be checked once a day during business hours.
But then within it, what you're having them check isn't gonna be a 3-second thing. You have them monitoring comments, it's a lot that's in here. And then furthermore, if you keep it this extensive, we now have to send them through training, because there's no way that you can enforce this without any additional training. And then on top of that, we have to talk about, we can't expect them to do that.
Well, if we can't expect them to do it, then should it exist?
I think it can
Because-
exist, we can come up with rules,
I-
and we can come up with a policy, just not this restrictive.
I agree we need a policy.
I do too. I
And
think
I
we do need
agree
a
that it
policy,
needs
but-
to protect both the board and the township. Each individual board member, I'll read this because this is where I spent the afternoon kind of putting this together. At the end of the day, this policy gives too much control over public communication to a public information officer who could be a staff member and not someone elected by the people. That's a problem. As elected officials, we are accountable to the public. The deputies are accountable to your deputy to you and your deputy to you. I don't have a deputy. And part of that job is being open to criticism, even when it's unfair, frustrating, or flat out wrong. That comes with the territory. We don't get to avoid it, and we shouldn't try to. Personally, I would much rather err on the side of allowing freedom of expression from the public than risk overreaching and censoring people. And that includes anybody. I expect that elected officials are capable of maintaining a decorum when responding, even in difficult conversations. That's part of leadership. What concerns me is that this policy puts a gatekeeper in front of that process. It allows someone who isn't elected to decide what stays, what gets removed, and how issues are handled, all with broad discretion. In practice, that takes away from elected officials the ability to respond directly and effectively to criticism, clarify misinformation, and engage with residents in real time. I feel a better approach, in my opinion, is to let those of us who are comfortable engaging on social media do so through clearly identified pages tied to our office or title. That way, the public knows exactly who is speaking, communication stays transparent, and there's no confusion about authority. At the same time, I do not want to overreach by censoring either the public or elected officials, so long as it's clearly understood that any one board member does not always represent the board as a whole. That distinction already exists in our ethics policy. Board members are expected to differentiate between the official position of the board and their personal opinions. And we should rely on that standard rather than trying to control speech through a restrictive policy.
Okay, so hold on a second, because this statement you're reading is referring to both policies. And this needs to be two different matters.
Oh, the other one, I think
Because you're talking about a public information officer, and then you're talking about the other policy as to what is censored, and there.
Well, I mean, it addresses both policies. I mean, it's one, I am addressing both policies. You know, public communication, especially when it involves responding to criticism, is not just administrative. It's part of the job voters elected us to do. And it should stay with the elected officials, not be filtered or controlled by staff. I understand the purpose is to protect the township and the board members. I think we need to look at this deeper, spend a little more time and look at in the past, and my example I used earlier was if Cottrellville got hit by a tornado on a Saturday morning, I would have to call Nicole or Angela and say, hey, I need you guys to post, hey, you need to come up to the township hall because the media is going to be here and you need to speak to the media because you're the public information officer. That is not the job of an hourly employee. That is what the public hired us to do.
That's not true. There are a lot of governments that hire public information officers.
that hire public information
You're
officers
correct.
and don't throw it on an
You're
employee in the office. And that brings me back to my other point is I don't think that this is suitable for our hourly employees. I mean, there's a ton of, it's not just a simple, I'm gonna take me 5 seconds to log in. This is a lot of responsibility. And like I said, and then you go to the end of it and the violations, removal from office for appointed township officials, or even in here, for township employees dismissal from employment instead of a corrective action or coming up.
Oh, that says disciplinary action up to. It does not say that you're immediately fired.
No, but it's still in there that
That there
it's
would be
work-
disciplinary action if you
Did-
did not follow a
and for
policy.
township
That's normal.
employees dismissal from employment. That's what I'm getting at. This is written, it says violations of this policy may result in disciplinary action up to and including revoked access to township social media sites and for township employees, hence them, dismissal from employment. That shouldn't, I mean, and then you've gotten here removal from office for appointed township officials, censor for elected townships, which,
And you know what? If
wait, hang on, and I got one more thing in here. And then in here it says officials cannot use electronic communication to discuss issues in private or in groups or otherwise bypassing the Open Meetings Act, which is fine. But then the example you give, for example, if the Acme housing project is up for approval at a public hearing, the township board member A cannot share their opinions on social media before the hearing. That goes way beyond OMA requirements. We're allowed to express our opinion when it comes to things. We're allowed to discuss that. You, me, and him can't sit in a room together before a meeting and discuss that, but I'm allowed to voice my opinion on that. So it's like, that's what I'm getting at. I think that this should maybe be tabled and rewritten and come more in line with what we're looking for in this policy. I just think that this is, the way that it's written like this, I'm not comfortable even just trying to tweak it a little bit and then vote on it. I think it should be
And that is
tabled
fine.
and,
But we should not, none of us as board members should be responsible for responding, because if you are doing so under the official Facebook page as the office of Cottrellville, you are speaking for the office. You are speaking for everyone.
Well,
And that is absolutely not acceptable.
well, and that's why we should have something in there that says responding from the office of the supervisor, responding from the office of the treasurer, which you have that in there.
It is.
And that should be in there, but all this other stuff, I don't think should be in there. I think it's too much.
But, correct, but if not us, then who? I mean, yes, responding as the office of supervisor, but where's the origination coming from?
And that is okay to put on them. If it's something that we're putting on the sign that we already ask them, hey, can you put that on the sign? Or hey, can you put this on the website? That is great and grand. I don't think that's that big of a deal to give to them. But to have them daily monitoring the website, I think that's too much.
that's putting, if they made a mistake and deleted a comment, and that person then sued the township because that comment was deleted, then that fell on them to make that decision. And technically, that kind of mistake should fall on a township official, should fall on an elected official for making that decision. They should never be responsible for what, it's putting too much authority and too much risk on their plate, because it exposes. So, like I said, my recommendation and my sample policy covers a lot of this basis, but it errs on the side of no censorship. If the people that want to attack me, because let's be honest, the people who attack in this community are attacking me, and I don't mind. Let them.
And they have every right to?
Absolutely. And when there are comments, when there are comments that get automatically hidden on the page currently, and it may be for a minor swear word or something that looks like a swear word, I unhide it. I don't believe in the censorship. And I don't believe in removing the ability of the public to engage directly with us. So again, yes, we need a policy. Is this the right policy? I don't know. I think we should sit down with the attorney and discuss it a little more, and really sit down and see I mean, I didn't get a chance to look up does the MTA sample policy, how in-depth is that? Do they have a sample policy?
They do, but it's not as in-depth as this. It's much more vague.
For a reason.
I understand that, I understand you wanna protect us,
policy
we're a family.
Is not a internal policy. They don't have any internal policy on their website.
Okay.
At all. They do have the, now I've moved things around. They do have the information, there it is. This is from MTA. The Public Information Officer.
Which, and that's something else to bring up, is I don't think that we should automatically make that their positions, because they might walk away one day and the person who comes in that position doesn't know anything about social media, wants nothing to do with social media. I think that should be, the board should establish that position and then designate it to a couple of people. If we end up keeping it this way,
Well,
and of course, like.
one thing I read, you know, because our current policy says that you and I are public information officers, does it not? It says the clerk and the supervisor are the public information officers.
I can go get it if you would like
So-
to, but I can't.
Well, let's,
Maybe the title, Public Information Officer, needs to be changed and designated to something else, where the Public Information Officer, as you are saying, the one who speaks to the media, who comes to emergency situations or whatever, is completely different than the one who is doing this. And it's fine if we don't want that person to, I mean, honestly, leave off all censorship for whatever reason. I just do not want any one board member being responsible, or not even being responsible, but having the ability to, and I'm sorry, Greg, but this is definitely directed at you.
then censor me then, censor me. No, I mean it,
I don't.
Because you know what?
Greg,
I have taken this community and I have told them
Greg.
everything. No, I'm serious. Yes, I made a mistake. I don't have a problem with that. I owned up to it. I didn't call it a policy.
But Greg, there have been other times where you have engaged in back and forth communication with people where it's just basically a argument that should never have happened in the first place.
Okay, and so that's why we're gonna make it the new policy where it has to state who it's coming from. It has to state that it's coming from the office of the supervisor, the office of the clerk. You have to state who it's coming from, okay? So that's gonna go in the new policy. Also in the new policy, maybe instead of assigning it to a PO, to a public information officer, we should, because you do have in there in case of emergencies that 2 board members have to approve it. So instead of making it in case of emergencies, why don't we do all posts like that, where 2 board members have to approve it?
Well,
I mean, there's a million things we can do. I just,
Absolutely.
for the sake of time, because we do have 22 items on here and we're on what, number 3, number 4? Why don't we table this, we'll rewrite this and come back at a later time and change it up a little bit. We've discussed about what we want in this, what we don't want in this.
well, I'll throw this in there, is this policy also dictates how my office would run my page and how your office would run your page and how your office.
And that's
would run-
another part in there too, that,
So-
whatever,
Okay,
we can, come up with a new policy, bring it to the board, we could even do it at the special meeting if we want, or if we don't have enough time, we'll bring it to the other meeting and we'll,
motion to table.
yes. I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion tabled.
Okay.
Item number 5, request to approve entering into the agreement with St. Clair County Parks and Recreation Commission for the use of the portable stage for the 2026 Edge Tunes and Blues event, and to pay the cost of rental fees in the amount of $750 to be paid from the Parks and Recreation Fund. Same fee we paid last year, same contract. It's reserved for September 19th and 20th. Do I have a motion to approve renting the stage?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote?
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 6, request to approve the proposed live music and production budget for 2026 Hoods, Tunes, and Brews event to be paid from the Parks and Recreation Fund. Now, as last year, we paid in advance and then we got reimbursed with sponsorship dollars. I will say my goal this year is $15,000 in sponsorship dollars. Last year we got 5. I'm already quickly approaching 5,000 just in the $500 sponsorships. So I've got commitments from several local community members and businesses already. One of our sponsors from last year has said that they're not going to sponsor, so we lost one, but they were a $500 sponsor. So, and the budget, we have some amazing bands this year. I don't know if you guys, if you haven't seen the flyer, but yeah, we have some amazing bands. Hang on, I'm trying to get to where I'm at here. I got it all labeled. The production budget, you know, we got Paul Schonk, his 300, Brent Maru is 1,000, Gasoline Gypsies is 1,500, Mumford and Son is 600, Ryan Scott is 1,000, and the Meldrum Brothers are $1,500. Gasoline Gypsies, amazing band. I think they're in Nashville right now recording an album. So we got some really good bands this year. So the total cost of the bands is $5,900. The stage, I had approximately 1,000, but it's $750. The sound company to do the sound and lighting for the whole weekend is $3,800. So I mean, I got $10,700 for the music and production. Everybody good with that? Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve
Is there a reason why we're doing a professional sound company this year?
What's that?
Is there a reason why we're doing a professional sound company?
Last year, one of the bands included in their price did the sound for the whole weekend, and that band isn't performing this year, so we had to get it different. These bands don't have their own sound, so we have to, basically, because we're doing 6 bands over 2 days, if each band did their own sound, it'd be like an hour and a half window in between bands to take down and set up. This way, they just come onto the stage, the sound's set up, everything's ready to go, things move quicker. Hopefully, we have all the bands show up this year. Last year, we had a heat wave, and one of the middle bands didn't show up.
So the sound company is providing instruments and, I mean,
They'll
not
provide the
guitars, but drum sets.
Drum sets and
And
lighting and speakers and everything. If you remember the guys in the tent last year with the soundboard and everything, handled all the sound and the lighting. So that's what that production company does. And yeah.
And what is the name of this company?
What did I say? It was EDS?
It's not on here.
Hang on, I'll tell you the name because he just texted me today. The name of the company is EQS Productions. And his name is Robert Musino. He actually has a studio downtown too, in Detroit, records bands and stuff like that. I mean, if you want, we can try and find a cheaper one. But I mean, they're all,
Just significantly higher than last year, but
well, last year, the one band, I think it was, who was the last band on Saturday night? They did the production for the whole thing, I think. They did the sound for everything. Because one of their band members had all that stuff. So they kind of built it in because they were playing, and I think they only charged us $800 or $1,000, whatever it was. I don't remember the exact fee.
I don't remember each individual one.
I mean, we can look into a different one and see if we can get a cheaper one. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it just, all the bands that are playing were comfortable with that guy. So actually came recommended by 2 of the bands.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's not that many around, so.
No, that's why I say it's, and time's booking up. We got lucky last year, to be honest with you, because we did it all in 6 weeks.
Right.
So planning this far ahead. So, I mean, we can look and see if there's cheaper, or if not, but that was basically who we had picked out was the EDS. I guess I didn't print that out, but I can. I thought I did. if there's no questions on it, I'll entertain a motion to approve that budget as proposed.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Fred,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
and Chris.
Yes.
Motion carries. Number 7, review proposals for asphalt paving work, but I changed that to, I want to change that to request to approve the RFB, which is the request for sealed bids. Our policy states that anything over $5,000, we have to post on our website or a media site for sealed bids for anything over $5,000. It doesn't give us a minimum amount of days or a maximum amount of days that we have to post it for. I did contact 5 companies to give us quotes. Only 2 people got back to us, so we'll put this out for bid, and we'll do a 7-day bid. We'll put it on the website. This is the scope of work. What it is it's for asphalt in front of the fire bay and ambulance bay doors, so that we can paint proper no parking, and it stays, because people from the soccer were parking right up next to the building. And then it replaces asphalt on the other side of the building, and 14 by 40 of asphalt in front of the bathrooms and the concession stand, which will make entry to the bathrooms kind of ADA compliant, so that they can get into the bathrooms easier. And I've also added in here some ADA parking spaces. I had some of the people that have been using the park, if we could add ADA parking spaces by the handicap parking spaces by the sidewalks of the pavilions. Some of the people that have handicap that come here to watch the sports and the soccer, they don't necessarily go out on the grass, but they're having a hard time getting parking close enough to the pavilions to get to the sidewalk. If we make 2 spots of each side of the sidewalk at each pavilion ADA compliant, handicap, I think that's a fair thing to do. It brings us closer to full ADA compliance. So that's what's in the scope of the bid. I'd like to post this on the website tomorrow. I've got on here, we're opening any sealed bids publicly on the 26th. And, on the 27th at 10 a.m. I don't know what the date is for opening the other one.
I thought we were gonna do all of it on June 3rd.
Well, if we do them all on June 3rd, we still have to open them publicly. I mean, we can open them at the June 3rd meeting, and then, but is that time to give us time to review them at that meeting and approve any bids that day? I mean, do we want to take?
I don't know how, I mean, we've only done this once, so
Right,
I'm not
well,
sure how
What I'm
other
thinking,
governments do it. I mean, do they open it and decide the same day? I mean,
generally, I don't think so. I think they review the bids after they open them. So I just said, well, May 27th, that gives us a week before the special meeting that we're gonna call on June 3rd to review the bids, and then properly be able to review them and discuss and award the
Does
contract.
that give us a full is May 27th a full 2 weeks?
If we post it tomorrow, I don't think so. Maybe we could do the 28th. I don't know. I mean, what is it? Tomorrow's the 14th, 21st.
So-
We could open them on and make them due at noon on the 28th and open them at 2 o'clock on the 28th. Is that fair enough? So, I mean, I can amend that on this.
The only other thing I want to throw in there, I don't know if you've looked into this, but when it comes to the ADA compliance for those 2 parking spots, we should look into if there is like a minimum amount of spots, how far it has to be, like see what the
And
guidelines.
the space, like, on
Yes.
either side of the car that has to be designated
Oh,
to be able to get it.
There's-
yeah, there is rules
Okay.
for that, and like the space has to be 8 feet, and then there has to be 3 feet of van accessible door opening and ramps. So that's all included in my thought process.
Okay.
Because if we do 2 spaces, and then the center is the compliant part for the space needed for the van,
Yeah.
ramps and all of that, then that's, the paving companies, they know the exact dimensions.
Okay.
I didn't look them up.
And then my other question is, I wonder if there is something in there about like they have to be so many feet from, how do I word this, like the main attraction, like what's going on?
I don't know if
Do you
there's
have to
anything-
have a walkway from that? Like I would just look into,
This brings us, like I said, it'll bring us closer to compliance with
Okay.
ADA. Eventually, I'd like to pave the walking path, which I didn't put on the future plans, but the pave the walking path so that that's handicap accessible.
yeah,
So, again, these spots just kind of bring us closer to compliance.
okay.
As we bring it closer to compliance, it makes us, it scores us higher points on grant applications. And then in those grant applications, some of the things that I've been saying is in some part of the projects for these grants is that this is gonna be ADA accessible. It's trying to make an inclusive public space. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish. It's a start. So I need a motion to be able to put this out for bid. Are you guys okay with putting this out for bid?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please?
Craig,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Motion carries.
and we are changing that to date.
So yeah, we're gonna change the date to the 28th, and we'll open it at, that's a Thursday, so they're due by noon, or, yeah, that one, well, yeah, we can just make it the 28th, yeah. So that'll be all the bids for the park bathrooms, which will be coming up, we're gonna do that, so we'll make that, we'll open them on the 28th. Due and open them on the 28th.
Do at noon, open, did you say 3?
Yeah, call it 3, whatever time, we'll come in and open them up, because that's a Thursday.
Thursday, so we'd have.
So we'll come in and open them up. Item number 8, review proposal for engineering services provided by Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick, Inc. We haven't had a return phone call back from PCE since last April, other than them asking us for the last $150 that they never gave us the paperwork, or turned the paperwork over. Finally, we got them to do that. But we had approved Anderson AEW to do the engineering for the second park entrance, which they've completed. It is approved. It should be ready to go out for bid. What this is a professional services contract that we will give them the ability to look at the projects and give us a price before we try to go to anywhere else, which is basically an engineering. So far, I've been pretty satisfied with AEW and their communication. And I did compare with prices with some of the other ones, and there was only a couple engineering firms that had maybe a little cheaper hourly rates or prices, but they were on the west side of the state. AEW has 2 locations, one in Macomb or Clinton Township, and one in at 11 and Gratiot. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are happy with the service they've been providing so far, I have no problem signing a professional contract with them to be our engineers. We have a couple projects that's going to be a 2-year project here coming up, which is one of the other items on the thing is the grant for the Bridge to Bay Trail engineering. And our portion of that is in that grant. And anything above that in the engineering phase will be covered by the grant.
With this contract here would, like when the water, when we get the funds for the water line,
Yes,
would this contract mean that they
don't have to manage it if we don't, they can manage those grant funds for us if we ask them to. If
so
we
this
don't
is not
make
making us have to use them?
No.
I don't even know if we're going to want to, I mean, I'm just.
No, it doesn't make us have to use them, it just kind of solidifies the relationship that they'll get first crack at it as they've done. I mean, I call other engineering firms, like I say, PCE has been, since the new owners took over, non-existent to deal with. You know, and we're all done with PCE on that. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, and they can work in conjunction with McKenna. So, for instance, if a developer came in to put in a 7-unit, like the guy who bought the tree farm was gonna put in 7 site condos. McKenna would look at the planning and all of that, but they might not have the expertise to look at the engineering drawings and say,
Right.
yeah, this needs to be changed, you know, so they would work in complement with McKenna, and be able to do engineering. Another example is when Iroquois was applying to do a build out on their building, they literally asked us, do you have engineers to look at the plans? And the planning commission was like, we don't do, yeah, Lebanon was good to us. Well, how do, none of them were engineers.
Right.
We can send those plans to the engineers and they can say, yes, this is acceptable, or the planning commission should do this. And that's included in that contract, is on an hourly rate of, okay, this is what it would cost to do
So
that.
it's as needed, it's not.
As
we're
needed, it's not,
required
Right.
to,
right,
but they are considered first line.
right. It's just a contract with their prices and what they'll do. I mean, it does say in there, I have to find the page. It'll serve as our township's consultant and advise township on various matters when so requested by the township. We will provide the consultant with complete information concerning the background requirements of the authorized projects, programs, or services.
What's that about?
This is page 252.
Oh, gosh, I thought you were farther back.
So this is page 1. Page 2, you know, we give them reasonable consideration to all reports, sketches, estimates, drawings, specific proposals. You know, they'll do general engineering services, private development projects they'll review for us. So, again, that brings up like if they turn in, a developer turns in a large scale project, which who knows if will ever happen in this community. They have the ability, we could turn that over to them for professional services to review that. Some above NICS capacity for engineering, for say water, sewer, road engineering. I mean, I would assume that's above NICS capability to approve that. I mean, it says everything that they'll do for us. The township shall pay the consultant for specific services performed for the township. Those fees set forth in Exhibit A. And the fees can be adjusted annually. What was the other main part? 80% of said fee shall be paid upon completion of the first engineering plan. Now, this is for the private developments. We don't pay that fee. The private developers pay that fee. So we make that a requirement that when they turn in plans, you're gonna work with our engineers to make sure it's right. We're not gonna trust your engineers.
Okay.
And if there's a conflict of interest, if they did the plans, then they'll let us know. What was the other? Oh, I forget where it was at. Consultant is an independent contractor, not an employee. The obligation to provide services under this agreement may be terminated by the township within 30 days. Written notice to consultant or consultant providing 60 days written notices to the township. In the event of any termination, consultant will be paid for all service and reimbursable expenditures rendered to the date of the termination. So we have our out if we ever needed it. You know, like I said, pretty standard contract. Prices are pretty in line with everything else around Southeast Michigan. So, any other questions?
Nope.
No.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote?
Greg?
Yes.
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Motion carries. I thought I had 2 pens up here. Moving on. Review proposal for the 2026 tax bill printing services from KCI and request to approve prepayment of the postage in the amount of $1,186. I think they do our printing every year,
Yeah,
so.
twice a year. This is just the prepaying for the postage.
Okay.
It's standard, we do it every time.
Motion approved.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 10. Review request by the office staff to adjust the township office hours. Now, when we took over, one of the things I heard was, we're not open, there's the hours are this, the hours are that. So we tried. I said, let's increase the hours a little bit, and let's try it. Well, we've tried it, it's been, 16 months since we changed the hours. The office staff, actually I did have 2 pens. The office staff is put in a request to review and change those, adjust those office hours some more. Nicole, the deputy treasurer, and Angela, the deputy clerk, are here. We've read the proposal. Do you wanna, feel free to come on up to the podium and the board can ask you questions and go from
Yeah,
there.
I mean, it's all in the proposal, so I don't want to read the whole thing again for time. But basically, what we've noticed is the coverage for, like, every office, there's inconsistent hours. It seems like every department has their own hours, and when we are open later, there's only like 3 to 5 people that come in on average on a Wednesday afternoon or other late day. We've kept track, as you guys requested, and you have that information as well. And when they do come in, they're asking for the building department, which has early hours. And the early hours that the building department has, we're not here in the treasurer's office to take payment for building permits or whatever. The assessor normally works like from 8 to 1. So to have more consistent and efficient hours to provide better customer service, it would make more sense to have the hours that everybody in the office has. I mean, we're not changing the amount of hours or requesting a change in the amount of hours, just,
one of those hours
yeah, just,
I did talk with Kathy
Switching
this
it.
morning, or this afternoon, and ask her, because the building department's been opening at 7, that was the thing that dates back to Mr. Klassen. And I asked her if she'd be all right starting at 8, and then she asked, well, on Monday, can I still leave at 3 like I normally do? And so, she would be like 2 hours less a week than what she is now. And so that was the only request she made, that if we did change the hours, if she could still leave at 3 on Mondays.
I'm okay with that, and honestly, like, Kathy is taking in payments for that 2 hours that she's here on Monday. She's taking, these contractors that come in are giving her like blank checks, and it's because they trust her and they've worked with her for years. Well, what happens when she retires in a couple of years? Realistically, Kathy should not be taking in any payments. And I can't tell you how often I come in and she's handing me a permit with a check that a contractor already dropped off, because my people aren't here
Right.
until 9 and she's here at 7. So for me, it makes sense, regardless of whatever, I guess, like the office hours change to. I think my staff needs to get here earlier in the day. And I know we can't increase hours, and we're trying to keep them at that 24. So for me, it makes sense for my staff to come in at,
Well, right. So the hours that they are right now, we have 9 to 5 on Monday, 8 to noon on Tuesday, 9 to 5 on Wednesday, and 8 to noon on Thursday.
correct.
You're proposing we go 8 to 5 on
Monday.
Monday,
and 8 to 1.
8 to 1 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
8 to 5 is a long day.
It's only an hour more.
Well,
than-
and my question, here's a question is that 9 hours? Well, technically, take an hour for lunch, then it's 8 hours, right?
Right, and we're part-time anyway.
What's that?
And we're part-time anyway. It doesn't go by 8-hour
Okay, so
days.
it doesn't
40-hour
affect
work.
overtime?
No.
And like as far as like the treasurer's office, there's 2 of them in there at all times, so if one of them can't stay late, and they can flip-flop, like as long as one of them's in the office
Yeah.
for that early morning or that afternoon.
And then on tax time, like during tax time, you
That would
guys
not
are okay?
change
And it
those
doesn't change
hours.
at all. We have must days in the
Yeah.
treasurer's office anyway, so like on the day that taxes are due, we have to be open for the full 8 hours. So even if that lands on a Tuesday, which is
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
one of our short days, my office is still open. So that, the hours doesn't affect us
Right.
as far as taking in taxes.
Well, what am I gonna do with my Wednesday afternoons now?
Go, get a coffee.
Monitor
go
social
sit-
media.
Yeah, there you go.
I said when we changed the hours that we would review it and see how it worked out. I mean, I know it's another thing, but what are your concerns if we did change the hours?
I mean, I don't really have concerns per se, just that people wanted more late days. So we're going back to the lack of late days.
Yeah, but the-
They're not using
I'm
them.
not using it anyways.
Yeah.
And you're 3 to
mean-
5, that's pretty, that's given, I don't even think it is on an average.
No,
3 to
no,
5.
it's an average of 3, but
It was cheap today.
we even changed the utility billing date to a Wednesday to see, and I think we had 5 people that day on the due date of a Wednesday.
It was April 6th, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
And I don't even think
get
all of them
both
were
sides
paying a
it, 'cause there
bill.
were some days where there was none.
yeah.
yes.
And so I get it.
It would just be
Is it
more efficient hours.
Is it more efficient for the public? Are they gonna utilize, and I'll be honest with you, I was out here the other morning, cause I generally get here before 8. And I was smoking my cigarette, and 2 cars pulled in between 8 and 9, and looked at the hours, and then came back at 9 o'clock.
Oh, they come all the time, because I
Yeah.
come in early on Mondays to just get work done when it's quiet, and there's constantly people at the door trying to get in earlier.
So again, I don't know. Do we try it? Is it worth trying it? I mean,
I mean, I've been here for
I
over
would not-
10
We
years.
just need to pick one and stick with it.
Yeah, and I think more people use the earlier hours because they're on their way to work, where most people work till 5 and they still can't get here before 5.
well, again, those hours were mostly my idea, and I don't mind admitting defeat.
Well, we tried it.
I think the increase in hours helped. I'm okay with switching them. Are there any other concerns? I mean, it'll be interesting being here at the same time every day in the morning instead of 8, 9, 8, 9, 8.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not gonna lie, I kind of enjoy when I come in on Mondays at 8 and it's real quiet and it's just me and Barb. and
It's
Kathy
quiet
here.
until Greg gets here. No.
Yeah.
well, it'll prevent a mutiny too. I didn't wear my eye patch or my pirate hat today.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions, any other discussions? Does anybody want to ask Sarah, or Nicole, anything? All right, well then, I will entertain a motion to change the hours as stated. 8 to 5 on Mondays, 8 to 1 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
You know, you don't have to always entertain motions. You can just make them.
I can do
I'll
what?
make the motion for him.
There you go.
Okay, go ahead, make the motion to do it, all right. Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Motion carries.
More walleye.
What's that?
More walleyes.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
we gotta get one of our boats in the water. I don't know, man. I gotta do some fishing because I haven't done any yet this year. Well, no, I take that back since we went to North Dakota. Item number 11, review invitation to bid for the proposed phase 2 of the Shortcut Road Park Building and approve publishing invitation to bid on BidNet Direct for 14 business days to collect bids per our township policy. Same thing, we've got the bid in, you know, estimated cost right now is around 120. That includes bathrooms, septic field. We did get the permit for the septic field approved by the county. So, yeah, if there's any questions on that, any discussion on that bid, we know what needs to be done, 2 bathrooms, concession stand. I'll entertain a motion to post that bid.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
As soon as I finish writing. Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Motion carries. We're clicking now, we're on item 12. Request to approve clerk and deputy clerk attendance at the Quarterly Clerks Association meeting for the cost of $28 per person plus mileage. Every quarter we do this. I entertain a motion to approve that request.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 13, request to approve payment to the Michigan Assessors Association for Assessor Schute's annual membership fees in the amount of $95. She only works for us. We pay those fees. I'll entertain a motion to pay her association fees.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 14, review my request from the supervisor to purchase a commercial coffee maker for the upcoming coffee and cars at the Shoreline Park to be paid from the Parks and Rec Fund. I have a coffee maker in there, I think it's $159. It's one of the nicer ones. I mean, I don't want to say it's one of the nicer ones, it's a Hamilton Beach. I think it's a 60 cup
Yep.
coffee maker. I didn't want to get a 100 cup. Thought process behind this is this is a new event, it's a free event. I'll buy the coffee. If we have the coffee maker, it can also be part of the concession stand when that gets completed. And I'd like to make the Coffee and Cars a monthly event on the 3rd Saturday of the month at the Shoreline Park. It's going to get people together. They're gonna be able to talk, meet, become friends, come together as a community once a month for a couple hours and hang out at a park that a lot of the community forgets is even there. This will bring awareness of that park. So I'd like to buy the coffee maker. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to purchase the commercial coffee maker, be paid from the Parks and Recreation Fund.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 15, request for utility billing adjustment. Oh,
So,
yeah, it did.
yeah, so what was included in the packet was just the application, the utility bill itself, plus the history was, included in today's, just extras to add, just as, research on that particular application, so.
This is for field. While away on vacation, we returned to the sound of a broken pipe. The crawl space was filled with water, so we called the township to turn off the water. This was, they
And
just,
verbal confirmation with Nick, correct, it did not go down the right.
okay.
That was what you and I,
I didn't end up speaking to him about it, I thought you were talking to him about it.
could have sworn you were there with me, but that's all right.
Oh,
Yeah, it did not go, down sewer, so.
So we have 53 units, so we're crediting, what was their normal usage?
So, right, that part of it here, the normal usage was on average about 2 to 3.
2 to 3 units?
Yeah, there was one one that was 1 unit, and then there was a 2 and a 4, so on average about 2 to 3.
So
It's right here.
then I say we correct,
That's the history.
okay. I'm okay with crediting 50 units. Can we figure out what that amount is real quick? Or do we have to have the amount, or can we just say the usage of 50 units of the sewer?
I'd say just the usage
For
of
50 units, yeah.
Okay, so do I have a motion to credit 50 units of sewer usage for 415 Field Street, Charlotte Mead?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please? That makes sense, yeah, 50 units.
Sewer. Let's see, what do you, sewer usage.
Oh, what about late fees or anything? Because they haven't paid this yet.
So what's that?
Are we doing anything?
No, it
There is.
has been paid.
Oh, so it's gonna be a
So-
credit.
Yes, so it would be credit. It was, ACH payment, it was drawn out of their account, on, what, 2 days before the due
That
date?
probably got their attention pretty quick.
A week before the due date, yeah.
So it will be credit.
Yeah, so we'd be crediting the
50
next,
units of sewage, okay.
So, oh, do we roll call yet? No. All in favor by roll call?
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
and Chris.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'm sorry, guys, who was the one that made the motion?
Chris made the motion, I seconded it.
Thank you. I was writing the actual motion, so.
Item number 16, review request from supervisor to purchase a side-by-side for the township parks and recreation use. We've been talking about different equipment and different things for the last year of what this township needed to start maintaining some of its own stuff. I've got in here, I submitted what a brand new one would cost from Ball Equipment. It was $32,800. We don't need a brand new one. I don't think we bought any kind of brand new pieces of equipment in a while. Even Nick's truck was used. What I did find is an incredible used John Deere 835M. It's a 2019. The owner bought it in 2020. He's an older gentleman, had a stroke, can no longer use it. He only had 1,700 miles on it in 7 years. It's up in San Luis County in Peck. The asking price on this started in $19,250. The guy had dropped it to $18,000. I talked to him the other day. He said he'd take $17,000 for it from a municipality from us. The thing looks brand new.
Who's gonna go up and get that?
I'll go up and get it. I might be able to snag somebody to come along with me. I don't know, maybe. We'll go get it. Well, I'll get a trailer from.
I was gonna say, talk to Joey, you could probably use one of his trailers.
We can come up with a trailer to go get it. What I like about this machine is it's upgradable as far as we can add other items to it. And then we had talked about getting one with a snow plow so that we could maybe plow the walking path in the winter so that people can still use the walking path.
So we can purchase a plow for that.
We can purchase a plow that's not only just like a cable plow, you don't have to get that, like a regular truck plow. It's a 6-foot plow that you control with the controller. It's a Western plow for generally under $2,000 brand new. So that would take the total cost up to like 19 or, under 20. It's a great machine. We need it. The thought process is we're going to talk about hiring a park employee along with our summer help of a high school student or whatever. But this machine is big enough, large enough, and roadworthy enough that it can drive from this park to the river park. We can add trash cans at the shoreline park, and this machine can be used to go get those trash cans, the trash bags, bring them back here. They can use this machine to haul equipment, weed whackers, this, that, and the other, to do minor weed whacking maintenance. When that time comes, it'll be on the job position. But this gives a park employee or township staff or electeds the ability to get in this thing and go to the other park to do whatever.
They can plow the sidewalk over there as well.
Yes.
As, the walking path and the space that outside of the building too.
Right,
So-
exactly, and this isn't meant to replace our landscaping guy, our grass cutters. They do a bulk grass cutting, they do it inexpensive. I mean, Nolan was out here, I think, for 4.5 hours today cutting the grass on the park. So, I mean, I don't want to replace that service because they do a really good job. But I would like to add an employee at one point, well, maybe ASAP, to do the edging, the weed whacking, clean the equipment. As we improve things, there's minor things that need to be fixed out there, and they can be maintained.
The grass
And
cutters don't weed whip?
they do some weed whipping, but not a lot. But this would give a more dedicated, like, flower bed maintenance,
Okay.
that type of stuff. If we need any of the trees trimmed, we don't have to call Nolan and have him bid us to trim the trees. This guy can maintain the tree branches and keep the path clear and general maintenance. But this machine can be used
Yeah.
for that.
Yep.
So you said that's 17, and you think you can get a plow on that for,
Yeah, I looked online and a Western plow is like $1,899. I mean, we'd probably have to install it ourselves.
so
but
this $20,000 point will be enough for you to get it?
I would
get a
like,
plow?
yeah, and I would like permission to buy this machine. I want to get it checked out real quick,
Yeah,
but at 17,000, this machine looks brand new. If you looked at the color photos, it's amazing shape. Like I say, there was an older gentleman who owned it and he had a stroke.
well,
so-
instead of saying yes to that machine, we should stick to your, because in
Stick
case
to the
that,
original
that
question of
falls down,
20,000.
like, yeah. In case that doesn't go through or whatever, you still
Right.
have the capability.
Okay. Well, then I'll entertain a motion to approve up to $20,000 for a side-by-side. Like I say, and anything I can get above, if I can get that for 17 and I get a plow, that puts us where we want to be on that. Well, what this machine does is it allows us to get a pole behind rototiller to actually redo the ball field and maintain the ball field that's been there for 20 years. That cost the township, I think, around $75,000, and it's never been maintained since the day it was put in.
Yeah.
Yep.
If we can maintain that, then we can start running that too.
Herbicide, boom sprayer, everything.
Yeah, and we can put the sprayer on the back to spray the
Yeah.
walking path until it gets paved or whatever. It's a needed tool. It's just another tool that we need to start considering. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of a side-by-side and equipment up to 20,000.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Motion carries. Review request from the DPW to purchase tools for water and sewer work to paid from the water and sewer funds not to exceed $850. Nick needs some of these tools, the transfer pump and the batteries, and I think his flashlight just about went out, so he'd like to get another flashlight. This is a whole kit. And then a 1/2-inch cordless high impact 20 volt.
Yeah, so his pages here that he signed and gave to us, was a subtotal of $769. So I put not to exceed $850 on the, agenda item because this doesn't include sales tax or anything like that, so. And if he's just buying from, this is from, well, if it's from Amazon, we,
Should be all right on delivery. Was this off Amazon?
this is off of Amazon,
Yeah.
yes, but if we do it, yeah, from our Amazon, we would, sales tax free on ours.
So we're all right with
So,
$850.
yeah, as long as not to exceed $850, that way we can either have to deal with shipping or sales tax, whichever might end up happening, whichever's cheaper.
I'm good with that, and I know he needs the tools. I'll approve that, I'll entertain a motion to approve that request.
Make that motion?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please?
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 18, request to approve entering into the agreement regarding the Bridge to Bay Trail grant with the expectation that the township will fund the amount of $19,072 as the required local match, which is to be paid from the Parks and Rec Fund. That match is over 2 years. So originally we had 2 grants, but after investigating the second grant, they granted us money for Marine City, and I'm not gonna take on Marine City grant. And commit funds to that grant. But, what this is this is for engineering and scope on the Bridge to Bay Trail. The total amount of the grant, hang on, is $64,651. Our portion is $19,072. Friends of the St. Clair is matching $13,253, so that we have a full 50% match. What this grant will get the engineering done, wherever the trail goes. The engineers need to look at the least path of least resistance, what's all going to be entailed in wherever that path is going to go. Are we going to need easements? Right now, they're looking at the fact that we have road right of way on both sides of the road. There's a possibility that could go on either side of M29. The foundation and the community foundation and the Friends of the St. Clair River really want to see the path go along the Marine City Drain. I don't see that. I've talked to several residents. We'll see how that goes, but we just posted a survey that they asked us to post that will be out till August 31st. Basically, I did budget $15,000 this year for the grants because it was supposed to be a total of $30,000 for 2 grants. So this is just probably $9,500 a grant, roughly $9,550, whatever it is, $9,500 a year. So I budgeted a little more than I need this year, but
That's okay.
it gets the engineering done and it gets the project. Because here's the thing, the Roy Wilson Foundation is closing out their fund in 2035, which means any money they have left, they're done. It gets distributed back to wherever. They will stop giving out money in 2032, 3 years before that. They have told me that they will give us a large portion of money to complete the Bridge to Bay Trail. We are the largest section of uncompleted trail in the entire system. So their goal is to use, there's $10 to $15 million of money that they want to give away in our county, in this area. They give money away here and they give money away in Buffalo, New York. They want to give a bulk of the money away here. So over the next 5 years, 6 years, they want to give away $10 to $15 million, with our portion of the trail being a large portion of that. This grant comes from them so that we can get that initiative started. The public, I've read the draft of the master plan and the comments in the Parks and Rec plan, and this trail is a big initiative, and it was 80% of the respondents said that we need to complete this trail.
Yep.
So yeah, just another grant helps us out. So I'll entertain a motion to approve entering into that agreement so I can sign that and send it back.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg?
Yes.
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 19, request to create a part-time parks maintenance position and post the job to hire ASAP. Basically, this position would be a part-time, non-benefited position, approximately 15 to 24 hours per week, adjusted seasonally as needed. The wage would range from $16 to $22 per hour based on experience and qualifications. We got some minimum qualifications here. They gotta have the ability to work outdoors in all weather conditions, lift heavy objects, exert force to move objects, strong work ethic, professional, social, interpersonal communication skills, and they gotta, because they're driving this machine on the road, they gotta pass a background check. And we haven't really ever done a drug screening before, but I mean, we can require drug screening, and we can look at seeing if Algonac Urgent Care does a contract for drug screening for us. There's probably a couple we might want to look into that. The position reports to the supervisor or the designated DPW parks lead. Again, they're gonna handle trash, routine cleaning. When the bathrooms are done, they'll clean the bathrooms. General park and facility upkeep at both parks. Complete regular landscape maintenance, weed whacking, trimming shrubs, weeding of flower beds, chemical weed control on walking paths and driveways as directed. Light repairs to the playground equipment, cleaning, painting, minor facility maintenance. Seasonal setup and takedown of the park amenities and event infrastructures. Operation of approved parks equipment, including side-by-side. Assisting with community events, special functions, and park improvement projects. Performing snow removal and seasonal maintenance as assigned. Perform regularly scheduled safety inspections and report maintenance and safety concerns. I did make a note here that the grass mowing and large-scale turf maintenance are performed by a contracted service and are not part of this position's duties. I don't have the intention of buying a commercial lawnmower and maintaining that. And again, it would take up a big bulk of the time. If they work the full 24 hours a week, at $17 an hour, the fully loaded annual cost is roughly 24 grand, which we have that, I have that, and we can add that into the budget. I had roughly 50 or 60,000 in unassigned overages, or what did I call that? Fluff money, not fluff money, but unassigned funds that would go into the general fund anyway, so we can add that to that.
One thing we need to consider is like, are they going to clock in at any point with anything? Are we gonna need to put maybe a time clock in the maintenance building? Or are they gonna, are these during the hours that the office is gonna be open? Do they have to check in when they get here and check out when they leave? How are we gonna?
Well, and I don't necessarily think that they need to be here the same hours as us. They can be if that's what we so determine, and we talk about that more when we interview people, see what hours that they want to do it. Because the problem we had with a high school student is there were certain hours in the afternoon, and you or I had to come back to supervise. And if the high school student is here, or whoever the other seasonal employee is here, and he or she can be here during that time, then that only benefits both positions. I mean, they can work as a team to get things done, and
at this point, that's another decision. Are we bringing back the high school position? My understanding was this job was to replace that and be more, that plus.
Well, because I don't think Kaylee was coming back, was she, Chris?
No.
Okay, so, yeah, we can use this to replace that position. I don't have a problem with that.
One requirement, then you would need them to be 18 at least, then, so they're not super.
Yeah, this position, you're gonna want an adult because they're driving that machine on the road and.
In license, that should go under a requirement, they have a driver's license.
Yeah. So, again, so, yeah.
Oh, it's on a valid driver's license.
Yeah.
Okay, with a good driving record.
So, again, it's hard to maintain both parks. The bulk grass cutting gets done, but the other minor stuff doesn't. I'd like the roadway at the other park edged out so that the asphalt doesn't deteriorate anymore that's there. And they can maintain that park too, clean the sticks up on the ground and all of that. So yeah, it's just creating another position to add to the facilities maintenance program.
Yes, the job absolutely needs to exist.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, I think if this is going to be their job description, do we need to put in there, not necessarily the hours, but that they are clocking in or checking in, or, that kind of supervision?
So the other part to my question, or your question that I didn't answer, was the clocking in. There's an app, and I think it's called Timestamp or Time Clock, and I think it's a free app. It actually records the GPS position when they sign in, and it actually GPSs the whole time, so you know where they're at. I mean, they're going home, you know what I'm saying?
This is a free app?
Yeah.
Outlook that we already pay for, Microsoft Outlook, they have an additional part too, which I kind of recommend for, maybe we can look at the whole office using, but it's same idea. It is an additional fee, but I don't think it's that much more. I don't know,
Let's
we'd
look at
have to
both
look into
options. Let's look into a time, something, an app on the phone that they can, you know, when they get here, they hit the app. I used it when I would do snow plowing. We had an app, it was called Yeti. That, and then the company that every once in a while, I'd drive their trucks instead of my truck. There was a timestamp, I think, and I would click in and, yeah. So we need to look into that. Let's look into that and.
Which I don't think that needs to be in the job
No,
description.
but we can come up with a way to monitor the hours. I'm good with that. So yeah, I mean, do I have a motion to create this position? Is there any other discussion on it? If not, I'll entertain a motion to create this position and post it.
I will make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg?
Yes,
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
motion carries. Item number 20, review and discuss potential property acquisition for Shoreline Park expansion. Is that in here?
That was your feasibility.
Oh, did I skip over my feasibility? Okay.
It's in here. It's in
Okay, I need consensus to explore the feasibility of expanding Shoreline Park. There's a parcel for sale by the park that's conjoins the park. But I need permission to look at whether it's feasible to purchase it and turn it into parkland. If it would be function, if it would function. And it's an opportunity to expand public park space. I don't know if we would get river property with that or if it would just be other property, but it would enhance recreational opportunities for residents. Before any purchase consideration is brought forward, it had to be appropriate for the township to evaluate whether acquisition of the property is feasible and consistent with township goals. If we don't raise taxes or do bonds to purchase the property, it doesn't need to go on the ballot to vote, but if we decided to move forward with purchase and we had to sell bonds to buy it and pay it over time, any kind of long-term debt, we have to put it to a vote of the people. It's possible that we can get we would score very high with the MDNR Trust Fund grant, acquisition grant. They gave us the grant to buy the current park. And expansion is a priority, and acquiring land that expands parks is a priority of that program. So we would qualify to apply for the grant, but unfortunately we wouldn't be able to qualify till next April. It'd be due by April 1st next year. This isn't anything, like I say, this is a request to look into the feasibility. Is the property meet our needs? It does follow with our current master plan and our future master plan. It follows with the Parks and Rec plan of acquiring land to enhance public use. So yeah, I just want to look at the feasibility. I need permission to do that.
How much would this add to the Shoreline Park?
A minimum of 1.3 acres.
And it's right next to it.
And it's right next to it. In fact, we just rezoned the property from B1 to RM1. And parkland does fit into the RM1 category.
That goes around a couple of existing buildings, right?
What's that?
Goes around a couple of.
It goes around two houses.
Yeah.
So the park would then be a U shape with the riverside where it is. Like I said, I don't know if the other little river parcel comes with it.
So it would be connected back behind.
Right, it would be like
So
a
right
U
now
shape.
it goes, okay. I think I understand what you're
Would
saying.
be connected on the bike path.
Yeah.
Horseshoe.
Yes.
And the whole back of it is along the Bridge to Bay Trail. Again, and it goes with
making that park maybe more usable for different things. I mean, we've already applied for a grant, which we'll get into. We applied for a grant for a pavilion there through the Recreation Passport Grant Program. So it's just, I want to look and see if it's feasible to buy. And the St. Clair County Community, or the St. Clair Community Foundation could purchase the property for us and hold it until we could get grant funds to cover it. We would just be responsible for any interest and insurance and taxes on it while they owned it.
Just a comment from when I was involved previously. There also is a potential of getting a first right of refusal on what's his name's property that would be in between. He was willing to.
Scott
address
Mazzolo's
it.
and the Jarvis.
Yeah, he was willing to address that, which would fill in that other piece.
And again, it's that it makes sense to look at it, to buy it. It fits a community need. It solves a community issue. Well, I don't want to say community issue, a neighbor issue. But I mean, this is something that could take a year or two to even.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I want permission to start looking at
Yeah, I
the
think that's a good
possibility
idea.
of purchasing it. And I'll keep the board updated on what we find. I don't even know if the owner's receptive to it. So we'll find that out.
Is that Mr.
Mr. Iannucci.
Permission granted.
What's that?
Permission granted.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I was gonna say,
Chris
how
made
would you
that motion,
word-
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Motion, how would you word the motion though?
Motion to explore the purchase of adjoining parcel to Shoreline Park.
Motion to,
Approve the exploration of the feasibility of purchasing the property.
You wrote it on the bottom of it too, how you wanted it.
How did I do it?
You wrote it on the bottom exactly how you
See,
wanted
I'm
it
so
worded.
silly. I write things like that and I don't pay attention.
Direction to investigate the feasibility of a potential acquisition and return.
To the board with findings for future consideration. So that's my motion. Direction to township staff to investigate the feasibility of a potential acquisition and return to the board with findings for future consideration. Chris made the motion. You
I
seconded it. All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Motion carries. Review and approve purchase of groundskeeping and compliance items. Is that the signs?
It's the signs, it's the parking bollards, and potentially, so there are two different types of signs and parking safety equipment. So first would be when the bids come back in for the ADA parking spots, we need handicap signs for
Right.
that. So, do we approve those now or do we wait for the bids to come back and,
We can wait for the bids to come back and then figure out the signs. I know Chief was gonna be here tonight, but he might have been on a call because he's gonna get fire parking only signs.
Well, so, with his comment earlier, those were parking spot signs for his employees or the firefighters.
Right.
That's not no parking tow zone or no parking, what was the other options? No,
handicap signs.
well, no, for the,
No parking tollway zone.
fire lane,
Fire lane, we should probably do something.
Yeah, so we would need to decide if we wanted to do like a no parking fire lane. Do we want to make it a, is there a fine or are they gonna be towed? What is, like, is that, well, honestly, basically, maybe we table this and think more about that?
Yeah, I think we can table
Since
the signs and think more about it because we're also, if we do approve the asphalt, we're gonna wanna stripe the asphalt with no parking like they do at the fire hall.
Right.
So then that would eliminate, like, I mean, we could get a sign that says no parking on the building or fire parking.
It's gonna cost you to stripe it anyway, so you're gonna have to come back for money for that.
Yeah. Well, unless I can get whoever does the asphalt to stripe it and clean it. We'll see, but yeah. And if we do approve the ADA parking, the handicap parking, then we can approve those signs then.
So the rest of this was the safety,
The bollards for.
bollards for, we need, around the mailbox, cause the mailbox keeps getting hit. So instead of continually having to repair and or replace the mailbox, we need to consider installing safety bollards for that. We also have, there's these safety railings here that, we were looking at that maybe we can surround the well head too, so that nothing else happens to that. So that's what those are for. We could either do the railings around the well on 3 sides, or just the 4 corners around in safety boards, or I don't know, however we decide. But those are,
So we would definitely have to do the powder coated steel. That's gonna be stronger than the aluminums, right?
Yeah.
And then we would have to get the sockets. Do we know how many we need?
if you're talking the safety railings, it would be 3. And they would don't know for a fact, I would assume they're 5-foot sections. It does not look like they're 6 foot, but they're definitely bigger than 4 foot.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say they're 5-foot
Well, the length
sections.
is 4'5", yeah, height is 42, 127, if we needed 3. Okay. And then the bollards, so we'd have to figure out which height bollards we need. Here's what I propose, here's what I think. Let's set an amount of $2,500 for labor and materials to install these. Get a quote to install them, up to $2,500 for labor and material. That's under the $5,000 threshold of our current bid policy, so all we have to do is get quotes.
Okay.
We can buy the materials and get quoted on the labor, or I can do the labor, we can quote that out. But I think $2,500
I was distracted. Where are you planning on putting these ones?
So
So these ones are going
Safety
around.
railing.
these when we go around the wellhead.
Okay.
And if I'm looking, so if they were 5 foot, they're 138. If it's 6 foot, it's 150. If you need 4, that's 3. That's $600.
Okay.
Wait, 1, 2. Actually, that's $450 for 3 to go around the concrete that's there now.
Yep.
If we decided to add a concrete curb on the west side of that,
Which you have to do, I think, for that.
we
You're gonna have to add that little curb.
yeah, we're gonna have to add a curb, but we don't have it there now. But we can install 3 for now to help protect it, right? And then add the curb when we send other stuff out for bid, which is coming up. We'll talk about that next. But I think $2,500 for bollards and installation for right now. Because these are, if we got 2 for the mailbox, will we need more than 2, you think?
No.
So we would be good, I mean, even if we got 42 inches high or 4 foot high, that's $125, 2 is $250. So we're still under $1,000 for material and $1,500 for labor to hammer drill out the holes and bolt them in and put the legs in. So I'll make a motion to authorize up to $2,500 for safety bollards for the wellhead and the mailbox.
Safety railings and bollards.
We were talking earlier today about like moving that mailbox, and we talked about putting it out here because it keeps getting hit, right?
Yeah.
What if we literally just put it on the right side out here?
We said the mail carrier rides on the opposite side.
Yep.
Yeah, but what if we put it on the right side?
Oh,
Then we'd have
And
to
then
add cement.
we're gonna have less of a chance, I feel like, doing that.
yeah. Then
With
you have to
people
install
dropping their
cement
stuff in there.
pad over there too.
Well, we got
Well,
another
yeah.
bunch of other stuff we gotta do
Are you
too.
talking about at the road?
again, we
No,
have-
not at the road, just when you're leaving, like directly across from where our boxes are now.
Yeah.
I think, and it's not on a curve, I think it would probably have less, because that mailbox is
It's
gonna hit so many
actually
times.
a better place for us to be able to see on the camera too. Because right now with it being in the corner, we can't
Yeah,
really
the
see
tree
it very
kinda
well
blocks
on the trees in the way.
Yeah, I
So
think that
if
would be
we
a better
move
idea.
it-
So we would need a small cement pad there.
And then
Yeah.
still install the two.
And still install the Boyards
Yes.
and either this mailbox or a new mailbox. Cause this mailbox is bent, right?
Yeah, I think we can just buy a new post, and we have another one of those downstairs
Okay,
that's in better shape than that.
then I'll stick with
Does
my
the flag
plan.
work on it?
Yes.
Right now, I'll ask for up to $2,500 to buy Boyards, install Boyards, investigate moving the mailbox, how much a pad for that is gonna cost. If it's above the $2,500 when we get the quotes, we'll bring it back to the board. If not, we can move forward, if it's, as long as everything stays under 2,500.
Okay. Up to 2,500, obtain quotes for labor, order safety railings and bollards for protection of mailbox and wellhead.
And possible moving of mailbox with a cement pad. That's the motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Let me know when you're ready for roll call.
Okay. Greg?
Yes,
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
motion carries. Item number 22, review of overall township improvement project goals, immediate and future.
So I asked Greg to kind of just put this in writing, because we've talked a lot about some ideas and goals and things for, just upgrades and improvements, projects, whatever, that we've got going on and what we want to do for the future. And he put together this nice list here. And I think that we should keep this, honestly, as like an ongoing to-do list.
And we can add to
And
it.
we can add to it, we can subtract from it as we go, just to kind of keep an eye on what the plans are for the future. Honestly, this is just on the agenda as an addition, just so that we can see it, because there's really nothing to do. I mean, there's no.
Yeah.
No, a lot of the stuff we're already actually in the process of doing. I'll run through it real quick. I'll read it real quick. So like for township hall improvements, we need to replace the 2 entry doors. And then we need to make this ADA compliant again. It's not functioning properly and it's rotting out on the bottom. So that's that door and the door at on the east side of the building. And we need to install a new porch, whether it's concrete or wood, at the east side entrance. And then installation of the boilers around the wellhead and mailboxes on here. Concrete work around the wellhead for protection and stability. Estimating them costs around $15,000 total for all of that. I mean, and that's if we get a good door. I tried to get a couple door guys out here when I was requesting the grant. We did not get the grant for that. There was 57,000 applicants and they gave away 20 grants. I was in the top 57,000 though. So that's just the building improvements. We talked about possible bathroom upgrades. We did get the toilet repaired today. Both toilets were $350 to get repaired, so those should be running a little better now.
I mean, we don't necessarily need bathroom upgrades, we just need replacing of fixtures,
Yeah,
so that
they're
they
functioning
aren't
properly.
leaking, they aren't, rusted out,
Yeah.
and, yeah.
At the shortcut at the park behind us, and I talked about asphalt paving around the new building in addition of handicap accessible parking spaces. We're estimating that costs around $30,000 for a lot of paving, a lot of upgrades on that. We got the second driveway project that the engineering plans are complete. They're approved through the road commission. It's ready to be sent out for bid. The estimated cost on that is $50,000. Once we get the bids for that, I mean, we can apply for grants for that before we get that done. Phase 2 of the new building includes the construction of the 2 bathrooms and the concession stand. The well and septic and all of that's included in that is estimated around $120,000. We have the money for that right now. I mean, we're gonna send that out for bid tomorrow. The shoreline park improvements, so these are optional, grant dependent. New pavilion and bathroom facilities, I applied for a $150,000 grant with a $50,000 match for pavilion and bathroom facilities at the shoreline park. that'll proceed if grant funding is awarded. I'd like to look at the development of a gravel parking lot for designated parking. I'm estimating the cost of that at 10 grand. I'd actually like to be able to ask for a quote for that and see if we're close on the number, and then we can set it out for bid. So I am going to ask for a quote on that, and then if we're close on the 10,000, I'll send it out for bid. We'll put it in, and I'll bring it to the board in 2 weeks or whatever and send it out for bid. Part of the grant that I'm asked for is a construction of a pedestrian walking path from M29 to the Bridge to Bay Trail, which is going to be a requirement of MDOT for us to put a crosswalk in. That's going to be MDOT's requirement for us to even put the crosswalk in, is to connect it to the walking path.
Right.
You know, that could be around $5,000, but it supports that. And we can do that separate from the grant request. That way we can put a crosswalk in and make it safer to go across the road to use the riverside of the park. It improves pedestrian safety.
About the crosswalk, is that at our cost to have that installed?
Yep.
Because MDOT will approve it.
MDOT will approve it, but we have to pay for it.
We would have to pay for the crosswalk.
And in order for us to get one with a button and lights, we'd have to pay the electric on that bill. But we would also have to have curb stop for a sidewalk on each side. So that's something to consider.
Right.
Of what they'll allow us to put in, but they before they'll approve any permit, they want a walking path between the road and the walking trail. And then obviously we talked about the potential purchase of adjoining lot for park expansion. That gives us a potential MDR trust fund grant of up to $50,000. I estimated a purchase price of $450. It could be $5. Who knows what it is? I don't even know what he's asking. But and if he would even consider selling it to us. But the estimated township share, if it was $450, would be $225,000, which we can get some money. We can apply for a grant from the county parks. We can apply for a community foundation. There's a lot of options, I mean, that we can do without having to sell bonds or do anything to buy that property. Township-wide improvements. We're talking about new park signage at each township park. You know, we need a new sign. The sign broke back here. It's 20 years old. It's time for a new one. So we're looking at quotes for that. We've also talked about, are we going to leave it just called Cottrellville Park? Or do we want to have a naming contest during those Tunes and Brews and actually name the park something, whether it's after a name or if we're going to call it Shortcut Road Park, you know, maybe give the public a chance to name the park. So that we might hold off on new signage until we make that decision, but that's something to talk about. Welcome to Cottrellville signs at key entry points in the community. We have no welcome to Cottrellville signs. Clay Township has them, Marine City has them, you know. Well, let's talk about welcome to Cottrellville. So some of these have been requested from Phillips Signs. I estimated the cost of $7,000. Well, I got a quote today for the one sign for the park, and it was $6,000. But like I say, let's look at that a little better. So projects, excluding land acquisition and pavilion project, right now, we're looking at $237,000 for major improvements throughout the community. And then the grant dependent projects, we're looking at another $225,000 or $275,000. Again, this is a wish list. This is what we should do to improve the community. We don't have to do it all at once.
No, and this is over time.
This is over
just
time.
Yeah.
But these are things that have been neglected for the last 20 years, and it's time to start paying attention to them.
Yep.
It's time to take pride in our community again. And the residents are on board. This is what they said in the master plan. These are the things that they want done.
Yeah.
And it's time we do it for them. The one thing I didn't put on here is paving the walking path. It's a 3/4 mile walking path. Off of the top of my head, before I got elected in the office, I had 3 bids done, and it ranged from $39,000 to $79,000 to pave the walking path back there. That was 2 years ago before I took office. I tried to present it to the board that night for ARPA funds, but that was the meeting where I was shut down and told to sit down and shut up or get out or get arrested. So, again, that I didn't put that on the list, but that's just another thing. So we can add to this list as we go. But that kind of gives us an idea of what we're looking at and what grants I need to apply for and how much it's gonna take. It's a lot of neglect. I mean, if it would've been done,
Say that again?
Electrical in the pavilion.
electrical in the pavilions, yeah, that's something fairly easy.
Yeah.
Now that we got electrical in the park, I mean, we can power a carnival back there now. Let's power the pavilions, 100%.
Yes, add that to
These are things that can be done fairly soon. Electric in the pavilions can be done fairly cheap. So, yeah.
We need,
I was gonna ask you, do you have power at the Algon, or at the,
Shoreline.
The Shoreline Park?
To power your coffee maker?
I'm gonna bring my generator on Saturday.
That's another wish list item.
Yeah.
There is a power pole right there. We can would drop temporary power.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Dominic took a year to get me power here,
Yes,
so
I know.
I don't know how long it would take at the Shoreline Park to
Obviously being facetious.
to get a line dropped. But it's something, yeah, we gotta talk about. What I will say is there's 16 sewer and water taps
Yeah.
in that property.
Absolutely.
So there's things that
Right
can,
there.
if we acquire that property, there's things that can be done and expanded.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. I mean, that's
Well,
the.
even on the property you have, I think there's sewer outlets there that were
Yep.
done for all those little cabins.
Yep.
Yeah.
With that, we concluded new business. We're not quite to 3 hours yet.
Move it along.
So, I'll open up public comments at 8:46 for anybody that wants to say anything. Anybody want to say anything? If not, I'll close public comments at 8:46. I will open up board comments and announcements. Did you have anything you wanted to say?
I didn't feel like you did. Now I can't remember.
Well, we wanted to talk about 2 meetings a month.
Oh, yeah. I really, really think we need to consider the 2 meetings a month, like maybe the 2nd and 4th. Oh,
It's-
but what if there is no 4th?
No, 4th is always the planning commission.
Well, we'd have to talk to the planning commission, see if they'd be all right
Or
switching. to
switch
the
us
third.
the 1st and the 3rd. Do
Or
us the
switch-
1st and the 3rd, and then
Switch us
the
the
4th
first and
and.
third.
Cause
Let's-
this is, I mean, our meetings are not, we kept saying in the beginning, oh,
Hey, this is one of our longest ones, but we did some good debate. It was honest, clean. Nobody left away swinging. I got mad for a second. But I still love everybody at this table.
how do we even, do we have to, how do we go about making this happen?
Well,
Put an official
Mueller?
proposal into
Yeah.
writing and bring it to the next board meeting
Let's-
or the special meeting.
Yeah.
well,
It can be
that's
on the
that-
agenda.
So, we're gonna announce a special board meeting. We're gonna post the trustee position, and look for candidates starting tomorrow. We will hold a special meeting on June 3rd at 6:30 to do open interviews, the way it should be done, in front of the public. Any candidate that wants to apply for trustee can come, they can show they can message
Wait,
us.
hold on.
We'll post it tomorrow, send us their qualifications, and then we can interview them in an open meeting.
So, yes, interview in an open meeting, shouldn't it be done the same way as opening the bids and give us time to think about it, though?
You
Should
could use
we?
those same dates, right?
Right, the same
Well, no,
dates
we don't
as
have
that
to,
bid.
we don't have to keep it secret who's applying for trustee. When we get an application, we get somebody that's interested, whether they send us an email, whatever they send us and show us their interest,
But,
we can disseminate it to all of them, everybody, and that way you're prepared to ask your questions of whoever's applying when they come.
correct, but once we get their answers, shouldn't we potentially take time to think about those answers and which ones we feel? I'm just,
Well, we've got 45 days from today.
correct.
So we can do the open interviews at the June 3rd meeting, and we can appoint at the June,
That's true, we do have a regular meeting just a week
Yes.
later. Forgot about that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
why don't we do that? We'll do the
Yeah.
opening interviews
That's
on
we
June
do the
3rd.
open
and
interviews at
then
the June 3rd meeting.
appoint
Now, we
our
can,
next.
at that special meeting, as long as we put it on the agenda, we can add a couple of the items that we talked about, we can, if we work out the details on the policies, we can add those to discuss too. Depending on how many applicants we have for trustees, let's see how many we get.
Okay, so special meeting, well, hold on. The opening of the bids for both bid projects, right?
Yes.
Will be the 28th.
8th,
So May 28th.
and then we'll award them at the June 3rd meeting.
Wait, I'm sorry. I won't be here on May 28th.
Well, you don't have
It's
to.
a large election.
I'll open them.
Okay. And we review them,
They'll be on the table for review,
and then,
awarded at the June 3rd
Awarded.
special meeting.
so May 28th is the public opening of both bids.
Yep,
June 3rd, 6:30 special meeting. I'm just writing down all these dates. Special meeting.
open interviews for
That'll
trustee.
be open interviews. That will be what? The bid
And
Bid
award the
award.
bids, award the contract.
bid awards. That will be, what did we just say? Which one?
June 3rd, right?
No, there was another thing.
Open interviews of the trustee, the 2 bids, and possibly the policy. The social media policy.
Okay.
Was there something else?
The meetings, switching it.
Oh, switching, thank you. I'm like, I know there was
Yeah.
another thing.
What was
If you
it?
did
That
that would
was-
be the first Wednesday, and then you could have your next meeting on
That would be the
17th.
proposal
And then we'd have-
for,
Oh, we can propose, we'll put together a proposal for
Yeah.
doing 2 meetings a month.
for
I'll put that together happily.
meetings per month.
Proposal for 2 meetings a month.
Okay,
That should be a good agenda for that meeting.
so those 3.
And then we'll
items.
propose switching it to the 1st and 3rd, although I can't do the 3rd Wednesdays.
Cause
That's
that's
the Marine City Fire
fire
Authority.
authority.
So we will have to ask the planning commission to switch to the 3rd Wednesday so I can do the 4th.
Second and
I'll
fourth.
What if
talk-
there's not a 4th Wednesday though?
There's
No, I
always a
think there's
4th
always-
Wednesday.
Is there?
Yeah,
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
just sometimes the 5th, so there might be
Okay,
a
2 weeks in
extra
between.
week
Yeah.
in
so we're gonna go
between.
2nd and 4th.
I'll make a couple announcements.
February there wouldn't be.
I'll make a couple announcements after. Chris, you have anything to add?
And, I have nothing.
Nothing. Angela, would you like to say anything?
No, I don't think so.
Man, a lot of meeting, guys, but, anybody at home, we got the coffee and cars, Saturday, 8 AM to 10 AM. Could last longer, depends how long the coffee lasts, how many people hang around. But we're gonna have that at the Shoreline Park, get together, you know. You don't have to have a fancy car, you don't have to have any car, come up on your bike, I don't care. It's just a community event to get together and get to know each other.
It's this Saturday?
This Saturday,
Saturday.
8 to 10. I'm planning on doing it every 3rd Saturday of the month throughout the summer, at least through August, and then culminating with the car show on the 3rd Sunday in September at the Hood Tunes and Brews. So, yeah, come on out. That's the only other announcement I have.
The only thing we didn't do, that our lovely deputies just reminded me, was, we did not state when the new hours are gonna take in effect. Are we gonna do it on Monday?
Should it start now or start the 1st of the month?
Do you want to start on the 1st of the
Well-
month?
No, it wouldn't make a difference. I was gonna say,
Today started a new.
I don't know, I mean, it's still the same hours. I don't think it would make a
Well, we did
difference.
have the extra 4 hours today. I don't know if it matters to you, guys. You know what I'm saying?
I think
It would be a couple extra hours.
What do you guys, want to wait till the 1st of the month?
It doesn't matter to me.
Would have-
We approve changing the hours,
You guys are in charge.
You're gonna come out, you're gonna make me walk the plank tomorrow, so.
Let's just do Monday, because at the end of the day, it's all a wash when it comes to.
Yeah.
let's
Then we'll
just-
start on Monday, new hours starting Monday. we need that professional to, make the new hour vinyls for the window.
Hey, don't tell them.
She already has them made, no.
We'll
I'm
push-
just kidding.
She's gonna go.
So, all right, we made that.
Does that, well, I mean, does Monday, we only have one of our business days until then? Does that give enough notice?
Well, the next Monday is Labor Day, or Memorial Day,
Yeah, I mean,
so we can start it
we
that
could
week.
start it the Tuesday after that?
After the holiday?
After the holiday?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start the
Just
Tuesday
that
after the holiday.
gives, that gives a little more notice to the public.
With that, we have our longest meeting to date, which will be 2 meetings a month hopefully after this. That was a 2.5 hour meeting, guys. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? I better not. All right, adjourned.
The preceding program was produced by CTV Community Television. CTV Community Television is supported by the cities of Marine City and St. Clair, East China Township, Cottrellville Township, and the East China School District.